This is another video, tips and resources that we wanted to generate for the businesses on what to kind of do during this kind of COVID pandemic situation that we're dealing with. And today we're joined by Richard Bankert, really special guest, our current president for the Chamber of Commerce, but also a professional at working at home. So we wanted to get his highlights on what it's like to work from home, and hopefully he can spread some of his tips and tricks for you guys now that maybe you're working from home now. So, Richard, can you give us a little introduction on who you are and what you do?
Sure. My name is Richard Bankert, and I'm CEO of Bankert Marketing Inc. And we do web design, social media management, and anything to do with digital marketing. And our workforce is all working from home anyways, so it's not as big of an impact on us. But part of that has been setting up a workforce that is completely mobile, that completely works online, so we can work out of our vehicles or wherever we are across North America. So, yeah, that's a snapshot on us.
Nice. So when you kind of, from someone that doesn't work at home all the time, you would think that there's a lot of distractions or things that can kind of take you away from the work or that you're supposed to be focusing on. What's a good way to limit distractions, or what's your kind of opinion on that?
There are lots of distractions, especially if you're in a new space. I'm quite comfortable here because I've been working here for years. But when, for example, I'm working in a hotel, I have to find a space that I can, set up that I can work, and then I know that, oh, this is my workspace, whether it's in the breakfast nook in the morning, or if it's the desk in the hotel room or some other coffee shop, wherever it is, it's my workspace, and I have to set it up that way and have that mentality. If it's just sort of being up and down, if you can find a space in your house or your home that you can actually set up and say, okay, when I sit down here, this is work. And then also just sort of setting up some set hours of, this is when I do work at this space and this is what it is. And if you can find a space that isn't, also doubling as your kitchen table or other things, so it doesn't have to be set up and down or even a separate room, then you can totally separate yourself and sort of ease those distractions out. Other distractions I can't help you with. Kids, they're always distracting. Not always. They're quiet right now, but
yeah, like when the floor hockey breaks out or something like that, I'm sure it could get a little noisy and distracting, right?
Oh, lately it's been heated discussions on schoolwork, but we're getting through it. Other distractions are depending on what you're trying to get done. So if you're on, I have to get this task done, just turn off everything else. Turn off your phones, turn off anything that's causing you to think, or turn off your email. And that way you're not having to take your mind away from everything every 2 seconds, because especially out of your environment, there's so many different things that can constantly grab your attention.
So, great tip on how to stay kind of focused. Do you have other things that are kind of related to that, keeping motivated or keeping focused on the task?
Motivation from home goes up and down. So there'll be days where one can power through. It's like at work, though. Some days you go in and you get like half your week done, and then the next day you go in and you get nothing done. For staying motivated specifically, setting down goals, write things down and actually do it. Today, I need to get this done. You may not get to that, but if you have those things written down, at least you have a direction and a purpose. And specifically, if you're at home and you're not at work where you normally would be, there may be some projects that aren't as pressing, but maybe it allows you to then write down those things that have been pushed off for a long time that you need to eventually do and should do, that have been just pushing off.
Okay. And so working from home, you'd only see a certain amount of people at a time, or maybe none even during a day. But this kind of goes in two spots here. How do you stay connected with the outside world then going a little further during this time right now, with the social distancing, what are maybe some, you know, ways that you can think that people could interact a little bit more and be better connected?
Well, one for sure is just pick up the phone and call someone. If you need to talk to someone, everyone's stuck at their house anyway, so you might as well be on the phone. Uh, Chat it up, put them on speakerphone just like they're in the next room. If you have a colleague you talk to all day long, well then go on speakerphone with them and talk to them all day long as you're working along. FaceTime video calls like this, we do tons of video calls with clients all over the world. So the video call side of things is quite simple to set up. And then talk with your neighbor over the fence. Like they're outside too. You don't have to go and give them a hug, obviously, but they're still out there, and you can talk with people. So as you interact from a distance, there's other people out there. So the other thing that I do is sort of a positive distraction, and talking about limiting distractions, but then also positive distractions. There's some things that are good to have going sometimes in the background, whether it's positive music or in my case, I'll watch a lot of YouTube videos specifically of people traveling the world or something like that, places that are warmer than I'm at. And it allows you to get out of your head, get distracted by something that's positive while you work. And it's really helped me.
Cool. That's great. That makes a lot of sense. Very helpful. I would imagine for someone that is now working from home and shifting that aspect of their daily work lives. Any programs or tools that you could see helping people in this new work situation? How do they, file share or keep up, on their tasks and stuff like that?
It really depends on what your needs are, because there's so many different tools out there and so many different things, and some are good for some people and some work better for others. So if your business is already using a system, like we use Office 365, so all of our video chat happens in Teams, our cloud storage is in OneDrive, and all of this sort of stuff, it's all connected. And so if you're using 365 already, you have all of these tools available. You just have to learn how to use them if you're not aware of them. And if you're using G Suite, there's a whole set of tools there. If you're using Apple, there's a whole set of tools there. So it really depends on what your needs are, the type of business you have, what your goals are. And so it'd be better if you do have a question about that, just to drop it in the comments for this video, and then we can sort of try and tackle those one by one, just trying to come up with a big solution for everyone. Obviously, in our situation, our main things were, how do we get our things that we need available online? So if you are looking to go mobile in the future, the big things are files. How are you going to manage your files so that you have them all the time? Your tools. What kind of tools do I need? So specifically software. All of our software is cloud-based. And the stuff that isn't is subscription-based. So if my computer just completely dies tomorrow, all I do is put up a new computer, download a couple things, and we're back up and running. How do you manage all of your business core tasks online? So is your accounting, all of that sort of thing. You have to be able to manage that on the road. And then client communication, whether that's through mail that gets sent to you or all of that fun stuff. So there's a couple things to figure out when you are trying to go mobile, but those are the key things.
Yeah, cool. I like how you brought up, like creating that discussion. So if anybody out there has tools or like apps and programs that they're using to keep connected or file share and stuff like that, put them in the comments. Let's have that discussion, and everyone can kind of try something new and see how things work, or find other people that use these things, and maybe you can find some new programs or apps that would be really helpful. So yeah,
there's a ton of things out there, and that's just it. There's things that we've tried and it's just like, that doesn't quite work the way we want it to, or it doesn't work for us right now.
Yeah.
There's also the other side. There's some tools that are just too robust, or they're too simple, or whatever. And so what works good for one business may not work for you at all. It really just depends on what your needs are.
Right. Cool. Anything else that you feel would be beneficial to share with anybody transitioning into a new work at home environment?
Probably. I'll remember once we hang up here. But yeah, the key thing is just for me is finding that space that's dedicated to work. When I'm in this space, I'm working. When I'm out of this space, I'm not working. So if you could set up that, even if it's just a cushion on your couch, that this is my work cushion, and then you can start to get yourself in that work mindset.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining, Richard, and really appreciate your time here today. And like I said, this is going to be one of a few video webinar sort of things that we're going to share out there for businesses to hopefully pick up on some tips and tricks and resources while we're all doing this transition in this COVID-19 pandemic. So thanks for joining.
Not a problem.